Hello, everyone. I'm Kevin Aline, and today is Tuesday, May 2nd. You're now watching Open, a program that brings the Bronx and New York City straight to you. Don't forget to stay connected with us via social media at BronxNet TV. Following the overturning of Roe v. Wade, many states are still looking to restrict any form of access to abortion. The Supreme Court recently blocked restrictions on abortion pills, leaving the drug available to those who need it, but the country remains divided on women's reproductive rights. Joining me to discuss this ongoing battle for reproductive rights is the founder, CEO, and president of Choices Women's Medical Center, Merle Hoffman. Merle, thank you so much for joining me.
Good to be back with you.
Now, I want to jump right into it. Ever since the overturning of Roe v. Wade, many people were left without knowing, their state policy or, just where their current state is at in regard to abortion. How can people find out?
Well, it is very confusing because not only is this issue changing almost day by day, but there's a lot of misinformation. So you can go on a few different sites. You can go on the Department of Health site for New York specifically. You can go on Guttmacher. You can go on Planned Parenthood. You can go on the NewYorkTimes.com and you just type in what are the restrictions or what is the abortion policy in, and then say the state. And it will come up. There are states where it's banned completely. There are states where it's restricted. And there are states where at this point in time, it is still legal.
Now, I kind of want to, you mentioned there are states where it's banned and then restricted. Can you just explain the difference between that? Because I think that even myself, I was a little bit confused about what it meant to be banned versus restricted.
Well, banned is that there's no possibility of accessing legal, safe abortion. Some states had what they called trigger laws. Okay, so before Roe v. Wade, and this is because a lot of people were working and expecting for Roe v. Wade eventually to be overturned, they had on their state law books that if and when Roe v. Wade is overturned, this state, whatever state it is, will have absolutely no abortion access. So that happened immediately. And Indiana, right after Roe, actually was the first state that did ban abortion. But at Choices, we were seeing patients from Texas for years, for about 6 years, because as you know, state legislators can do some things on abortion law, even when we had Roe v. Wade. So there were restrictions on second trimester abortions and on different things that women and girls could not access. So, Choices was founded in 1971. This is our 52nd year. So I have been on these front lines and seen all of it. And now it's as if I'm in Groundhog Day. And, when we were open in 1971, of course, New York legalized abortion 3 years before the Supreme Court decision. We were seeing patients from New Jersey and different states coming in. And it's as if these last 49 years of legal abortion was like a little oasis cut in history where women were able to have the freedom of choice. Now that's gone.
Now, according to a study from NPR, 62% of people believe that, this happening, the overturning of Roe v. Wade, was based on political reasoning. I'm really excited or just really interested to learn your opinion on this. Is this something that you agree with? Do you think it was more of a political thing?
Oh, first of all, it's more than 62%, okay? It's almost 70%. People in this country are what you would call pro-choice. Now, that has nuances. Some people are comfortable up to 12 weeks, some people 17 or only one abortion in somebody's life. But the fact is that the majority of this country are pro-choice, which means they don't like or love abortion, and they may be against abortion personally. Somebody could say, I would never have an abortion. I think it's killing. And I would say to them, well, you're basically pro-choice. That's your choice, as long as you don't work politically to ensure that I don't have a choice. So what we're looking is this massive constituency of people who are pro-choice, but are not coming out strongly enough to make sure that these state laws don't pass. Is it political? Yes, it's totally political. Is it religious? Absolutely. Is it craven politics where men and some women will just vote in their state legislature because they want to ensure that they have their quote unquote base? So what you have is a theocratic, misogynistic, rule here. And you introduced me as the founder and president of Choices, but I'd like to tell you what I identify as. And I never use pronouns, but now I am. I identify as a second class citizen of these United States because as long as one woman is not free in this country, none of us are. And I don't believe in safe states. People have come up to me and said, "Oh, well, we're in New York. That'll be fine. We're okay." Well, we're not okay at all. Because this last salvo on the abortion pill, if they take mifepristone away, and this is just a state, okay, they're hearing more on May 17th. This is now in the appeals process. If they touch that, it will affect every woman in this country. So I think that women and men of conscience and people of conscience have to wake up and really realize that it is our responsibility to ensure that more than half of the population does not remain second class citizens.
Now, I think it's really powerful that you mentioned, people say, "Oh, New York is a safe state," right? And you like, no, we shouldn't really kind of fall back and lean on that. What is something that you would say to encourage or educate more women from states that they deem safe to kind of step away from, letting their guard down and being just a little bit more proactive in this fight for, reproductive rights?
Okay, look, I've been in this for 52 years, and I've always spoken about the need to own the decision. The first thing is that it starts with the individual. I mean, there are millions and millions and millions of women who've had abortion, let's say since Roe. Okay? Then there are millions of partners involved, and friends and relatives. We have an enormous constituency. And I called and looked to the Black Lives Matter movement, thousands, people marching in the streets for such an important issue. Where are these women? Where are these people? I'll tell you where they are. They have outposts in their heads because the opposition has been so effective in convincing them that one, women are bad girls, so you really shouldn't have an abortion. It's your fault, and I'm not saying, put on a t-shirt and walk around and saying, I had an abortion, but I'm saying own this decision. And I will say now that I have had an abortion. It's important to stand on that line.
Now, I really want to talk about, the health aspect of this. Many people are concerned over the complete ban of abortions due to health reasons. If someone lived in a state with rules against abortion and was in need of an abortion due to a life-threatening problem, what could be done to help save that person's life? Or is there anything that could be done to save that person's life?
Okay, let's say we have a woman who has preeclampsia or she has an ectopic pregnancy and there's something that's life threatening. Now, the real danger here is what these new laws do is weaponize physicians to be arm of the state. Okay, so they have a ruling that says the woman must be in imminent danger of death. So now you have physicians who are trained to heal and save who have to think to themselves, well, what is imminent? Will she die in 3 minutes if I don't do this abortion? In five? And so think about that. Think about what's going on. I mean, if you're talking about that kind of emergency, you can't even transport this patient. So, this is these laws are extraordinarily cruel. They kill and maim women. And the fact that, there's not a major rising I can't say surprises me, but it's really very sad. It's very, very sad.
Now, I want to know, we kind of focused on the health aspect, but what are some of the other dangers, living in a state that has, abortion bans?
Okay, let's say you're young, you're living in a rural area, you don't have all this access to the internet and finding out where you can get a feminist funding to travel to get an abortion. You're going to be a bond servant. You have to have that child, okay? Whether you're 10 years old, whether you're 9 years old, whether you have to bear the child of a rapist in your family, you will have that child. So, if we don't have legal abortion, and women can't decide when and whether or not to be mothers, you have elected officials. Now, I don't know the last time anybody has dealt with a bureaucracy or an elected official, but somebody is going to make a decision here. Abortion will not stop if you make it illegal. What you'll do is just make it more and more dangerous, and more women will die and really hurt themselves trying, or else they'll have children, babies that they can't take care of, don't want. And then let's look around at what kind of services we have for women. I mean, we're not just drowning in health care and prenatal care and education. I mean, we're on our own. We're on our own. So the government here is extremely anti-natal, yet they will force us to have children.
Now, what can people do to help, with this fight, for abortion? We
Well,
have a little bit of time left, so if you can answer as quick as possible, just let us know, what can people do?
oh, okay. There are many things they can do. Please go up on the riseupforabortionrights.org site. You can volunteer in multiple ways. You can march, you can do clinic escorts, choices. There's so many things to do, but act. It's not enough to say, I support. You have to act.
All right, Merle, thank you so much. I always enjoy speaking with you, and I love your passion. So thank you truly for joining us.
Okay, I'm going to see you outside of choices too.
Yes.
I'm looking. Okay, thank you very much. Bye bye.
Bye. Don't go away. We'll be back with more Open right after this.